Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another episode of the Switch It Up Show. It is episode 75, and thanks to my co-host, Mr. Seth Trav, I am feeling quite alive. Mr. Seth, how are you this evening?
I'm amazed that we are 3/4 of the way to 100. My God, we've had that many reviews. And then some. Lord.
More, probably, more in the realm of like 150.
Thank you, everyone, for helping make this show somewhat profitable and just one of the best things I've ever been a part of in my entire 30 years of life.
Oh, my gosh, my man. So, somewhat profitable, and because, we are all about the Benjamins, baby, we are going to be letting you know which game this week you might want to save that hard-earned money for. But before we dive into those reviews, let's kind of just relax with these sweet tunes. Anna Mana Gucci, ladies and gentlemen. As always, if you love the music, dare I say, if you appreciate the music, check out the show notes. You will be able to find links to all the wonderful songs that we feature here on our show, not just for this podcast, but for any podcast over on the Preach Network. They're all in the notes. We're looking out for you. Bringing 2 reviews to you this week. And Mr. Trav, you let me know. You want me to start this off, or do you want to jump right on in?
I feel like maybe you should.
Oh, well then, by all means. Let me go ahead and give you a ticket to this review, my friend, because we are going to be taking off with Airfield Mania. Airfield Mania is $5.99 on the Nintendo eShop. You get no gold coins. I continue the streak of covering games that give you nothing back in terms of gold coins, but that is fine because I feel like the gameplay in this is, is worth, the juice is worth the squeeze, as they say.
Now, word?
Yeah, maybe. I feel optimistic. Let me hit you with the synopsis. Are you the right person to guide aircrafts to their runway? No, Mr. Trav, no, you're not.
No.
Now you can prove it with Airfield Mania. Airfield Mania is an addictive line draw air traffic control game. But don't tell us we didn't warn you. It's really addictive. It features 3 whole maps. It is easy to learn, yet hard to master. The instructions? Well, just touch the aircrafts and drag them to their runway with the right color, mind you, and avoid collisions. That is it. I remember when games really first started to come to the App Store. Yes, we are old enough to remember when games first came to the App Store for iOS, and one of them was this game. I can't remember quite what it's called. I think it was Traffic Time, where basically it was just an intersection, and more and more cars would just start to go through it, and you had to swipe them through the intersection so they didn't hit each other. Basically, you're managing you're just managing traffic, which is exactly what you're doing with this game. A couple different levels. Each different level has a different layout of runways, and your 3 colored runways are blue, yellow, and red. And in each one of these, the yellow planes land on the yellow, the red on the red, and the blue on the blue, and so on and so forth. But they come in from different areas of the screen, and you have to touch each one of these different aircraft, draw their path on the screen so that they can land on the appropriate runway or helicopter pad. Now, that's all fine and good, but because they come on different sides of the screen, and some runways you can only land on one direction, you can't land, on both, you have to make sure that you line them up correctly so that they can land on the runway without crashing into any other one. So what may seem like a clean path as you draw this long looping path to one runway may very well end up being overlapping with another plane that's flying in off the screen on another side that you weren't anticipating beforehand. So you have to constantly be able to go through and recorrect those courses of those aircraft so that they don't hit each other. And basically they disappear out of the air once you land them successfully on the runway or the helipad. And as time goes by, it gets more and more difficult. Your score is basically determined by the number of aircraft that you are able to land successfully, and the level comes to an end when they collide. So it's not like you get any like one collision. It's just as soon as it happens, it's done. You do get a little bit of a warning from these little exclamation points that pop up on the side of the screen where aircraft will be popping up. But as time goes by, it gets more difficult. You're going to get more and more of those, and it's going to be harder to manage that traffic. So if you kind of like that challenge, you're into games that require like a lot of swiping on the screen in order to like manage a problem, this is a game that you might really, really like. It is pretty addictive, but because you have to, there's a lot going on. It's easy when it first starts off, but as you play, it gets more and more and more and more difficult, and you kind of have to be ready to deal with that. And each level, while the runways are laid out differently, it is in fact the same type of game. Some levels are harder than others, but no one of these like maps like really changes anything in like a big way or anything like that. This game is $5.99. That's not an expensive game. It is fun. It is addictive. Is it worth $5.99? I don't know. I don't know. If this was on the, if this was a mobile game and it plays like it is, which is nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. Ton of mobile games are a lot of fun and they're 99 cents and like, that's great. There's no reason that like if this game is on the iOS like App Store, like this should be 99 cents and you'd be like, cool. I don't think it needs to be $5.99. But if this is the type of game like that you're into, if you like these games on your phone, this will be like perfect on the Nintendo Switch for you. The price point's just, I don't know, it just seems wrong. Like it doesn't seem like it needs to be that much money. Not that $6 is a lot, but considering this is pretty much a mobile game, like my question is like why? A lot of other games for $6 that you could be buying on the Switch. And I'm sure there's other games that are very similar to this that you could buy on your phone for a fraction of the amount. So I'm going to give this game a lower score than I feel like it would normally have, just because I feel like it's way overpriced. And I'm going to give it a 3.5. I feel like it could be more. This game is fun. It's not necessarily for me, but I can appreciate where it comes from. It does everything right. It's just too much money. There's no reason for this to be $6.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like something that would probably be a lot better at a 99-cent price point.
Yeah, this is an iPhone game. This is an iPhone game. There's no reason for it to be $6.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's better games for $6.
My God, I'll tell you a good game that you can spend some money on. That's gonna be Mechstermination Force. It's $11.99, and you get 60 gold coins when you buy it digitally. Join the Mechstermination Force and save the world from gigantic megamechs. Battle against massive bosses, jump and climb onto them to find their weak spots and blow them to kingdom come in this action-packed platforming boss rush from the creator of the Gunman Clive series. When the megamechs have taken control of the world, one small group of brave soldiers are still fighting for humanity's independence. Join them and lead the charge against the mechanical menace. Get powerful weapons and upgrades, use the magnet gloves to climb on top of robots the size of skyscrapers, double jump over pools of lava with the boost boots, and use your trusty baseball bat to smash the megamech's energy cores. Take on massive bosses alone or together with a friend in local co-op. It's by Harburg Productions. And again, this is the dude who made Gunman Clive. He actually had let us know that he needed to bring in 2 other people for the first time to actually finish this game and get it out on time, and do some of the more complicated animations, which I think is cool. I think it's awesome that he's such a small outfit to put out such great games like these. You can play as 4 different characters. I believe it's 4, and one of the characters is Gunman Clive. So if you love Gunman Clive that much, come on in here, get this, and just fight bosses. This game is very sort of straightforward in that the story is that you have to save the world by beating up these giant mechs. And that's it. Like, if you've ever done any of those bullet hell games where you're going through and you're fighting forever only to get to the end boss who is also shooting you up like crazy, skip all that middleman. Just skip it. You're going to go straight to the boss. And it starts you out right at the boss. You run in with like the last like 4 or 5 members of like special forces team or whatever, and you watch them all die around you, and then you just start fighting the first boss. And it's fun. it's difficult because it's one of those games that you really have to like get your timing down. You got to master the patterns of how they're going to shoot, otherwise you will die. So it's one of those games that you're definitely going to be like, okay, this is the 15th time I'm going to die. I'm going to give it up, but maybe one more, and then you finally get it, and it's one of those awesome, super proud feelings. And I feel like this dude has hit that mark again, which is so hard to hit, where you could be so immensely frustrated, or you could just feel like, no, I know I can get this. I know I'm going to do it this time. One more time. And that's exactly what Mechstermination Force is. The mechs themselves are pretty cool. They're all sort of transformer based, where you shoot them a bunch, then they go into a different mode and they look like an alligator, or they look like a centipede, something like that. Which is really cool. Or like some sort of weird octopusy kind of circle maneuver world Death Star-esque donut type thing. The power-ups are cool. There's a shop too that you can use to buy other weapons, buy upgrades, things like that, and you can go back and replay other levels, so that way when you realize you're doing too poorly and you want it to maybe be a little easier, you can just play those old levels, rack up coins, and go spend the money on more health, more interesting, unique weapons. It's super, super fun, and this game is really addictive. That's what I would say, is that this one is an actual addictive game where you just don't want to put it down because you know you are worth it. You owe it to yourself to kill this boss, and you will if you play it just another 15 times. So, because this game made me not want to put it down, and it looks awesome, music's great, it's Action Jackson packed all over, I'm going to give the game a 4.5 out of 5.
Hey man, that is an excellent score, and that's exactly what you want from one of those games. You want to be able to, be fighting to put it down.
Think of it like this as well. If you ever just took Mega Man and you, like I said, got rid of the middleman and you just went straight to the end boss where you got to memorize all the jumping motions, except now Mega Man's bosses are actually huge, almost what's the game with the huge titans where you just fought bosses and you rode on the horse the whole time? Haro. You would say Haro. It was the prequel to Eco, it turned out. Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, there you go. I was like,
it's like Shadow of the Colossus in that regard. Almost in the same, almost immediate sense, where you're just running off and fighting bosses. These things feel so massive and insane, but at no point do you necessarily think to yourself like you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to kill this thing, but you just start shooting away and you blow them all up. So that might be part of the satisfaction of it, is that they're so immense and it's so sort of tricky, and you have to get that timing down just right to be able to actually beat the thing. Loved it. Absolutely loved Gum and Clive. No, Mechstermination Force.
There you go.
By the guy who made Gum and Clive, and I played as Gunman Clive in Mechstermination Force.
How to explain it, my man. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. So as I was talking about, since we started to, I started to talk about how I thought Airfield Mania would be there's gotta be a better iOS game. Airfield Mania is on iOS.
I imagined as much.
It's ready for this, Mr. Trav? Because I was complaining about the price. It's free. It's free. So if you want to play this game, and before you maybe you loved it. If you are all about this type of game, you might very well love it and want to have it on your Switch. Want to be able to play it on a big screen. Totally understand it, but try it out on iOS first. It's free. Ad supported, but free. And then, if you really like it, then by all means, purchase it. Check it out. Let us know what you think. And of course, if you hate it and you play it and you absolutely can't stand it, remember, you can always switch it up.